Hey, you guys. Happy Friday. Okay, I'm at the post office and I have some things I want to open. But I wanted to show you. Where did they go? Where did my new tree? Oh, so, okay. You know, on my other channel, I have been looking for those Oriental fans. Because I need fans. I love fans. Thank you so much if you're a fan. I'm joking. But anyway, and I kept on going to the dollar store because that's where I'd gotten it originally, that paper fan, and I couldn't find them anywhere. So I was going to this other Dollar Tree by my house, and right next door to it was like this wick store. And I was like, I think I'm going to go up in there and see if they have anything. And so I said to the guy, I went to the counter, and I was like, do you guys have any Oriental fans by any chance? He was like, oh yeah, right over there. I go, what? Like, as if it was like, you go into a grocery store and be like, do you guys have macaroni and cheese? Yep, aisle 4. It was like, so just like, why would you even ask such a stupid question? And I was like, oh my God. And I turned around and there was this whole box of fans. So guess what? I got 2. The Kingdom's Children, yes. So I got 2 fans up in the Oriental Wig store for my other channel. I was so excited. Their glitter is all over my car now. But anyway, I got a package from Amazon. God, look at my hair, it's a train wreck. And I got this big package. I don't know what this is. It says fan mail. Oh, it's from Germany. I have a feeling it might be candy. I don't know. So anyway, okay, I have not opened this, but it came in this packaging again, so I guess I have an idea that I might know who it is, okay? So here's the card. It says, a gift for you. I love these little things. Hi Peter, just watched your video. Hope you didn't get the book already. I have to say, your videos helped me through a difficult time right now. Enjoy your gift, Stein. Oh, Stein, thank you so much. And thank you for saying that my videos help you. Like, when I get those like messages from people that say like, I'm really going through a hard time right now and you like inspire me, you motivate me. You know, I was just like responding to this kid on Instagram that's in high school, and his parents are really religious, and he was saying that he's getting bullied. He was like, will you please do a video about bullying, which I will do. I feel like people are like walking all around me right now. It's making me very nervous. But anyway, and you know, it's like, he was like, the life that you have with your husband makes me very happy that maybe I can have that one day. And that's like all I really want. Is like, I know my life isn't super exciting and it's kind of just normal, but like I really want to demonstrate to the world that you can have like the best life possible, you know? So anyway, thank you, Stein. That means the world to me. I don't know what book did I talk about in a video recently? Forever I talked about Endless Night by Richard Lehman. Robert Lehman? Richard Lehman. But somebody sent that to me. Oh my God! Oh my God! It's Stardust by Neil Gaiman, which I have been talking about. Because, okay, so if you watched my vlog when Alex and I went to brunch that day at Cafe Patachu, which is like my favorite restaurant in Indianapolis, and I talked about how there was a guy that was really cute, and he was like in the middle of the restaurant, and he just could not be bothered with anybody. He was just sitting there and smile on his face, drinking his coffee, eating his French toast, and he was just sitting there reading this book, and he was so excited. I was like, oh my God, like that's who I want to be. So that's totally who I'm going to be in Florida. I'm taking this book, I'm going to read this book in Florida. Stein, that was awesome. Because I've actually gone to 3 half-price books and Barnes & Noble, and none of them had it. So, thank you. Oh my God, I love that. How exciting. Okay, now I'm going to open this package from Germany. I also got a letter, but I opened it, and the person asked me to not talk about it. So, I haven't read the letter yet, so I don't know what it says. Oh my Lord, what is all this? So I received vegan cashews and dark chocolate. Nope, you didn't put a note or anything with this? I don't know what this is. Is this a bag of turds? No. It smells like something. I'm not sure what it smells like. Is it like some kind of spice or something? Chocolate? I don't know. Hot chocolate? Alex just texted me. I bought a box of pizza rolls. He said, I better not burn my other foot. Did I tell you guys about that? So Alex like dropped a pizza roll on his foot and burnt the shit out of his foot. I mean, there's literally like a burn. I feel so bad for him. Oh, and then they sent me Saftage's ragout In Lecker sauce. Okay, I don't know what any of this means because I do not speak German, not one bit. I'm not even gonna try. And it says for PB. It's PP. 2 P's, PB. I like that better though. I'll be like, PP, somebody sent you this. I still would like to know what this is. This is hot chocolate. I mean, I don't know what to do with this. And then, oh my God, noodles, kimchi flavor, Asian cuisine. Thank you so much. Oh, that was so sweet. I wish you would have written a note and let me know who you are. It doesn't say, like there's a name kind of on the cover. I don't know who that is. So anyway. All right, so those are my packages. Thank you so much, you guys. It meant the world to me. You guys, I love like going to the post office and getting stuff. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh, that's so phony when YouTubers like it. I don't care what people say about that. Like, I like it. And I think it's so nice of you guys. Like, even just postcards and stuff like that, I love so much. So, and I save every bit of it. Alex is like, you need to clean out the basement and make that area your office for YouTube, which I totally do. Because he's like, you need to like organize, like, I have been sent so many bookmarks now. I mean, I literally have so many bookmarks. I mean, I should literally start a bookmark collection. I did a whole video on my bookmarks on my other channel. Everybody asked me to do it, and it didn't get viewed very well. So, anyway, it is what it is. All right, you guys, I will talk to you and just thank you so much. I mean, I really do. Like, it's so much fun. I don't even know how to explain it. And maybe it just come across as disingenuous, and I don't really care. But it's really fun for me to go to the post office and get shit. You know, like, I don't know. It's just fun. I love it. So, thank you.
To be in Miami, and a lot of our friends are in town also. We're here to check on Dash, but we're also
I'm uploading
here
videos.
to just have fun and go to Kanye's concert.
What's my husband doing? There he is. Hi, husband. Look how sexy you look in your green pants, Mr. Green Jeans, for St. Patrick's Day. Kick it up higher. Higher. Hold your legs up high. He's watching the Kardashians. Is this a new season? Boo Radley, what are you doing over there? He's playing with a piece of fuzz on the ground. Boo Radley.
This is a troublemaker. Oh my God. We need to do something else now. Let's go for a skating dip.
I told you he'll just play for hours with like a piece of fuzz. Are they in Miami right now, the Kardashians? Are you excited to go to Miami?
Yeah.
You excited to go to Miami with me?
Sorry.
Are we gonna get a lot of hot, sexy parties? What are we gonna wear?
Nothing.
Are you gonna wear your green pants
No.
and your big boots?
No boots on the beach.
We're going to Champs to eat dinner tonight. What are you gonna eat at Champs? That means, oh!
I'm super excited to be
He turned up the TV. That means shut up, is what it
here for a little
means.
bit, Courtney and I.
Hi. It's been kind of a weird night. So Alex and I went to Champs and had dinner. And then when we came home, he watched... Okay, so I've been sitting in this Meijer parking lot watching videos on YouTube because I just didn't want to... Anyway, I'll tell you about that in a second. But there's like this parked pickup truck right here. I'm going to drive by it and see what's the story here because this guy has been like sitting here forever. Oh, he's asleep. He must be trying to get some sleep. But anyway, I was like, what is that parked pickup truck doing way out there? So Alex was catching up on TV, and I was like, he hasn't had a chance all week long to catch up on any TV. So if you haven't figured it out, we live like in a loft condo, so like only one of us can really watch TV at a time unless we have headphones on. So I just was like, I'm gonna lay down. And he was watching the season finale, or the series finale, I guess, because I asked him afterwards, of Vampire Diaries. Why did it get so dark in here? What is going on with the lighting? That's so weird. And so I like brought Boo upstairs and fell asleep. You know how I do. And then I woke up and he was like, babe, he was like, is Boo up there with you? And I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm taking the dogs out. And I was like, all right. So I let Boo out. Something's going on over here at the gas station. There's all kinds of police and people going on. What's going on? So anyway, then I got up and I was going to go to bed because I have things I need to do. They're like surrounding that car, my lord. Anyway, I have things I need to do tomorrow, and Alex is taking his car in at like 9:30 in the morning, and then he's having breakfast with his mom. She's making him cachapas. He was like, if you want to come, you can come out there. I was like, do I want to drive all the way out there for breakfast, and then we're having dinner with her tomorrow night? I mean, I would love to go out there, but like that's a lot. Like she lives like a half an hour from us. So I was like, I am gonna go and just park somewhere. I mean, I hate just sitting at home downstairs, like in the dark, watching YouTube videos on my phone with my headphones on. That's why I drive around a lot. So I was like, I'm gonna drive around, get a fountain Coke. So I was listening to my audiobook because I only have like 4 hours left of it. And I want to start a new one for when I go to Florida. And so I was driving around, listening to my audiobook. And I was like, I just want to like what was I thinking of? So I don't know if you guys know this, because I haven't talked a lot about this on here, but I love drag. I did a whole video about it on my other channel, like drag pageants, drag queens, RuPaul's Drag Race, anything. Like it's really how I came out, honestly. Because I met some people through some friends of mine that were drag queens. And so before I had a fake ID, that's how I would get into bars. I would just carry their drag. And like nobody would ask because, you know, if the first drag show starts at like 10, most queens get there at like 8 and start, you know, painting their face and getting ready and whatever. And so, I would just carry their drag in at 18 years old. Natalie Cooper, I remember her. She was one of them. And some other people. And it was funny because there was like 3 of us guys and 2 of them dated. They were both so cute. I had such huge crushes on both of them. And now one of them's married to a woman and the other one's married to a guy. And so anyway, but we were like the 3 youngest guys, and we would always like get into bars by carrying people's drag in, and then we got fake IDs, and I think we didn't need to get into bars after that. We just did. But anyway, so like from a very early age, like I loved drag, like starting at 18. And I actually went to my first drag pageant. I did a whole video about this on my main channel, actually, my first drag pageant. It was so much fun. National Entertainer of the Year in Louisville, Kentucky in 1993, and Shayla Simpson won. And I'll never forget standing in that bar. Oh my God, I was drunk as a skunk that whole weekend, and we literally stood like for like 8 hours during that final night pageant, The Connection in Louisville. They do it at like a major place now, but anyway. And I just always grew up, you know, in like coming out and going out. I always had lots of friends that were drag queens, you know, and back in the day in Indianapolis, you know, and so I was always like, God, I could tell some fucking stories of people that I remember back in the day. These names would mean nothing to you probably, but like Gina Jones, Stacey Stevens, Austria Andrews, who's a really good friend of mine, and who was Blake Adams. The 4 of them lived together in this house, and they used to have chili supper Sundays. I will never forget going over there, and we used to sit around and get into all kinds of trouble. So anyway, it was so much fun, and so many people would come. And then on Sunday night they had a show, and so we would all go home and take naps and then go to the show. Oh my God, that was so much fun back in the day. And like in Indianapolis, when I came out, the whole like gay community kind of centered around drag. And this is a funny thing, okay? You know, I don't know how many years it's been since I've been out. So I came out when I was 18, 28, 38. So I've been out for, what, 25 years? I've never once been up in drag. I've never been put in drag. I've never done drag. And I'm not opposed to it. It's just like, I love watching drag. I love the art of drag. I'm not, I'm not fascinated by being in drag, if that makes sense. So anyway, You guys are probably like, who cares about all this tonight? Well, it's my vlog and I'm telling my story because I want to look back on this and remember some of this someday, I guess. But anyway, it was such a fun part of my life. Even though I was partying out of control and stuff, it really was a fun part of my life. It actually, the first couple years were like a lot of drinking, a lot of like smoking weed, but like it wasn't dark and ugly at that point yet with my drug use and alcohol drink or my drinking. It hadn't gone to the drinking was dark and very like blacking out all the time and stuff like that. But like, I just was really blessed that I had a lot of good friends, like my friend Jim and my friend Peter and some other people that really looked at, my friend Clara, that really looked out for me back in the day, you know, and they just wouldn't let me get into trouble. You know, I slept over at their houses, or they just really watched out for me, especially my friend Jim. And I would love if he watched these videos. We talked about 2 years ago. We hadn't talked in like 15 years, and it was like no time had gone by, and we were like gonna go get lunch or something, and we just didn't. Isn't it weird how friendships kind of fade like that for no reason? Like, I mean, nothing happened negatively between us, but... So Jim, if you're out there, reach out to me. I should reach out to him. But anyway, I should like go and have lunch with him and vlog it, and he can tell everybody what I was like back then. Oh my God, he'd be like, oh, Peter was such a mess. But anyway, baby, I was so cute. You could not tell me I was not cute, okay? Walking into the bar, nobody wanted anything to do with me because I was a drunk mess. That's the truth. But anyway, so we just like went, like, okay, so I came out in 90. Well, like a year before that, the 21 Club closed. And the 21 Club had been like this huge bar in Indianapolis that had been like the focus of like the drag community in the country. It was like they held a national pageant. It was like a big deal. Well, it closed down, and so there were like all these other smaller clubs like Club Cabaret and the Metro and places like that that were popping up that were like having drag shows. And so we would go there. I mean, like Wednesday night, the Metro had drag shows. Thursday night, you know, the 10 had drag shows. Did the 10 have drag shows? The 10 was a lesbian bar, but it had drag shows. No, Friday and Saturday nights they had drag shows there. You know, I mean, I can just remember back in the day, it was like every night we would start, the evening started with going to see drag shows, always. And then afterwards, we'd all go out. And like, I feel like back then, like a lot of bars now, like drag shows go through the whole evening. Like, you know, like 9, 11, and 1. Like, I think that's how the connections were in Louisville, like 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and 1 o'clock, or something like that. But like back in the day, they'd do like a 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock show, and then they wouldn't do any more shows. And so like by 12:30, like all the queens were done, and then like they would go out and party. So we would all party together. Oh my God, so much fun. So we would party till 4 o'clock in the morning, and then we would go to like Ollie's, which is like this gay restaurant / bar here in Indianapolis, and we'd eat fried food. We would go right up into Steak and Shake and Perkins and Denny's. They would all straight up be full drag, you know, like 20 of us just come in there like a wrecking ball. Came in like a wrecking ball. I miss those days. I really, truly, I you know, it's kind of funny because like it's a double-edged sword. Like the gay kids today, the majority, I think, that have accepting family members and, you know, are in schools that are educated and things like that, have an easier process coming out today than we did back then. But man, it's just not the same. It's just not. The bar scene is so boring today. It's just nothing like it was back then. I mean, it was, you like spent all day on a Saturday figuring out. Do you guys remember this if you're my age? Like, even if you're not going to gay bars, I mean, straight bars were the same way, because I did my fair share going to straight bars. I mean, you would spend all day picking out the right outfit to go out for, and you were going to meet a boy, and it was going to be fantastic, and you were going to fall in love that weekend. Never happened. But, you know, like, do you remember that back in the day? And like, we didn't call it pre-drinking. I can't remember what we called it back then, but we just drank. I mean, you know, so much fun back in the day. And it's so funny because a lot of those queens I know are still performing. Like, the time that I came out, there were 3, and it was really interesting because it was right as like the supermodels were becoming really big, like Naomi Campbell, Christy Turlington, and Cindy Crawford. I mean, she was big, but it was Naomi Campbell, Christy Turlington, and Linda Evangelista. Like, they were the 3. Do you remember? Big supermodels. Well, in Indianapolis at the time, And it was really interesting because they would do this In Vogue thing at the Metro, the three of them. It was Lena Myers, Alexandria Priest, and Jamie Hunter. And they each were like, in a way, they kind of like, they had their own thing. And it was like they almost kind of were like these three supermodels, but in Indianapolis. I mean, they weren't. It's so funny because like in my head, I can see like Lena. I'm like thinking their boy names is what's funny. But, like out in a ponytail and a white t-shirt and jeans after like performing, you know, makeup still on her face. But anyway, like people looked at them that way, you know? And so anyway, tonight I was like in the parking lot and I was thinking about somebody. I can't remember who I was thinking about. I was thinking about, so Miss Continental is like probably, you have to be careful how you say these things because people take these things so personally. I feel like Miss Continental is like the creme de la creme of, I said creme de la creme of like pageants in this country. And, I mean, it's like incredible talent, like Broadway shows. I mean, these women, these girls' gowns are like unreal, right? And stuff like that. And so anyway, I can't remember what I was thinking about. Oh, I was thinking about Erica Andrews, who is Roxy Andrews' mother that passed away a couple years ago, drag mother. And Erica Andrews is my all-time favorite drag queen. And, or female impersonator. But Erica Norrell, I was like, where in Florida does she live? Because I know she lives in Florida and we're going to Florida. I was like, I would love to see her perform live. I've never seen her perform live. I'm a huge Erica Norrell fan. She's absolutely gorgeous. So if anybody out there knows Erica Norrell, reach out to her and tell her to contact old Peter Monn. It's just like real blurry. What is going on tonight with this camera? It's driving me nuts. But anyway, so I was like, I don't think I've ever seen her continental talent. And there's like all these different like drag channels on YouTube that like have all of like the pageant. I feel like it's really blurry, you guys. If it is, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with my camera today. And my one contact has been blurry, so it may be that. I don't know. But anyway, there's like all of these like channels that have like footage from drag pageants. So I watched hers, and then I watched Erica Andrews' runway, because that, like, the next year after Continental, they have all the queens come out like one at a time at the beginning, and it's all like the one that won the year before, I think, picks the theme for what it's going to be, like Disney or like whatever. And oh, Sasha Colby, my God, she's like, I think Sasha Colby is my favorite drag queen now. But anyway, so I was like watching all these runways, and before I knew it, like an hour and a half had gone by. I mean, they were each of them like 10-minute clips, and then I was watching an interview, and I was like, and there was something about, you know, I was thinking about this as far as like confidence. There's something about these girls that is like, they just like exude such confidence. And I'm like, I don't know, like, there's just something, I think, that, like, and maybe that's why I was drawn to it all my life, was like the glamour and the glitz and the confidence of drag, right? You know, to like be around, I mean, they were always larger, the people that I knew, the people I was close with, and I'm not now. And I was watching this, I was like, baby, I need me an entourage of drag queens. That is what I need. I need some gorgeous drag queens with me. I'm getting me an entourage. I'm getting me a Wolfpack entourage is what I'm going to do. Y'all can apply. I'm joking. But anyway, I mean, like, I think people love them because they're just so full of confidence, you know? And it's like, God, isn't that amazing? I think it's awesome, you know? I wish I had that kind of confidence. It was interesting because I did that whole video yesterday on social anxiety and loneliness, and what's so strange about it is, it's almost like me talking about it made things 100% better. Like, I was so much better today. Like, I woke up and I just felt like so much better just, I think, talking about it. And I've always been somebody that's just been somebody that needs to vent. Like, I just need to get shit out of my system. And I think because I did and I just vented and got it out, I feel so much better. And I don't know, maybe that's what all I needed to do. You know, like, I talk a lot about my social anxiety. A lot of people left me really, really nice messages. Thank you. I read them all. Oh, Lord. I'm still with you. Hold on. That was like What happened? My lord, my camera went flying as I turned up in here. I'm just trying to turn around. But anyway, you know, it's interesting because, like, Alex and I were talking tonight at dinner about my loneliness, and he was like, well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, babe. And I was like, you know, even the reality is, even if I spent, like, every night with you and every day with somebody and I was with people all the time, I still feel like the loneliness that I feel is something that I feel like inside. Like, I feel like I can be lonelier in a room full of 100 people than I can be all by myself. And he was like, he brought up this whole thing about, like, Pee-Pee, my dog, being, like, my best friend. And he was like, I think sometimes, you know, it's easy for you because you can talk to him, but, like, not with him. If that makes sense? I don't know. I think I expect a lot from conversations is kind of what he was saying. Like I like conversations that go on for hours and hours and hours and are just very easy and very natural. And, like, if I'm out to dinner with somebody and there's like silence, like, we'll get in the car and I'll be like, they bored my ass off. Like, I can't, you know, if you're out to dinner and you're like, oh, so, you know, how's work? Well, work is good. What, anything new with work? No. Like, do you know when you go out to dinner with people like that? My husband, not that one. How was work today? Well, which is so funny because I don't think that you would guess that by watching him on my vlog, but, like, he's, like, telling me about all these different things he's doing, and I'm like, I don't understand any of it, and it's, like, way over my head. And, but I just feel like, I don't know, I think that I need to start being willing to maybe interact with people more. I think what happened was I set boundaries so firmly. It, like, was really hard for me to start setting boundaries. Like, you know, I would say, I would do it every once in a while. Like, if I didn't want to go to something, I would say, baby, you go. I don't want to go this time. Like, to a baby shower or, like, something like that. I mean, nothing big, like a wedding. I would always do those things. But, and I still always do those things. But, like, you know, like a baby shower or, like, a luncheon or something. If I didn't want to go, I'd just be like, I don't want to go. But, like, only every once, maybe, like, 3 or 4 months, right? And then it turned into this thing where I was like, I'm not doing anything that I don't want to do anymore. Which is really liberating, honestly, you know? But then it got to a point where I think I'm seen, like, I don't even get invited to stuff anymore because people just know I won't come, right? Which I think furthered the social anxiety to the point that now if I do want to go to something, like, I'm very nervous about it. And so, like, I try to get out of myself and ask people to do stuff a lot, you know? Like, I asked Melissa for lunch this week and she couldn't because she's busy, or, like, you know, Tanya and, like, other people that I'm friends with. I try to, like, step outside of myself and ask more people to do things because, really, to be honest with you, I'm, as much as I want to bitch and complain about being alone, like, I'm very comfortable being lonely, not lonely, but being alone. Like, if I lived the rest of my life the way that I live it right now, you know, with, like, 3 or 4 days a week, doing my sobriety stuff, you know, seeing Alex for dinner, like, we go on dinner dates probably 4 nights a week, you know, like, we spend, like, almost the majority of Saturday and Sunday together, and then, you know, like, doing my videos, writing, doing, like, you know, corporate coaching stuff, and then, like, having Tanya, like, I kind of would, to be really honest, be very happy with that. Like, I don't need a lot, you know? I don't need a lot of interaction, but I still, at the same time, I feel like maybe I should try. I don't know. I don't even know why I feel that way. It's stupid, isn't it? I mean, why do I feel like I need to do that? It's like, because somebody else thinks it. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I really don't. But I will say that it helped me a lot to talk about it yesterday. So, you know, if you don't have somebody to talk to about stuff that's going on with you, buy a journal and journal. I'm a big believer in journaling. Even if you don't keep the journal, just throw it away. Write it out and throw the papers away. I remember a couple years ago, I found a journal of mine that I had from when I was, like, 20. And it was chicken scratch, and it was just horrible. It was like, I must have written in it when I was drunk, and it was like, one of it was like talking about, like, a boyfriend that I didn't even remember talking, like, I don't even remember who it was. Like, when they said his name, I was like, who's that? And, like, I have, like, a memory of steel, right? But, like, I don't think I remember a lot from, like, when I drank, but I was all up in arms about some boy that was treating me wrong, and I was like, I mean, I literally got about 4 pages into this journal, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't, no. You know, like, I think it's important to have the mirror held up to us every once in a while, but I don't know that I need the mirror from 22 years ago held up to me all the time, you know? Like, I'm not that person today. I've come a long way. I'm not that person, and I don't need to be reminded on a regular basis that I'm that person by myself, you know? Like, that's where we beat ourselves up. It's like at some point you do grow and you become bigger. I was watching, actually, it's funny because, like, this one drag interview on Miss Continental was from Barbara Herr, and she said she was like 49 in the interview. I think it was like 2005, so she's probably like 60 now or something. But anyway, she said in there, like, you know, once you hit 40 and you're over 40, like, you look at the life in a completely different way. And I think it's so true. Like, and I don't know that I think it has to do with, like, you hit 40 and you're wiser, but I do think there's this societal thing that's put on the world about turning 40. And so I think that when you hit 40, it's like you look at the world in a completely different way that you never looked at it before, you know? Like, you are over the hill. Like, life is half over. And so there is this pressure to, like, if there are things that you want to do, you got to get them done. Like, you know, like, I'm on borrowed time. Like, you know that. Like, when I say that in my videos, if you're over 35, 40, you probably know, like, yes, I'm at the end part of my life if I make it that far, you know? And so it's like, but it's not sad, really. Like, I don't know. There's some acceptance that comes with it, you know? And, but, like, I wish I would have figured that out at 20, you know, like, but then I think that I would have been too serious. Like, I've met a lot of really serious 20-year-olds, and they make me sad, too. Like, I'm really happy I got sober at 22, but I am not sad that I partied it up before that. I mean, like, I had some good years. I had some great years sober in my 20s. Like, I mean, my sobriety has really taught me how to have, like, an amazing and really fun life, you know, without the need for that. But I had some good times too, I'm not gonna lie, you know. I just wish I hadn't had to put myself in harm's way for it. And I hope I live to be 70 or 80, you know? Like, my dad is 76, and he looks like he's 60, you know? And, well, maybe a little older than that. But he still practices surgery 3 days a week, you know? And I'm like, my dad is 76. His brother's 95. You know, he has the youngest of 5 siblings. They're all alive, and he's the youngest. My dad's 76. Like, my grandma died at 93 of complications with a fall, and she was completely healthy. So it's like, my dad is probably going to be 102, you know? And that could be me if I take care of myself. And so I have a lot of living left to do. But I think the wake-up call at turning 40 is, what do you want to do? What do you want your life to do? And I will tell you, one thing I wish I had known way before I was 40 was the moment that you get that wake-up call. You know, when you wake up and you're like, hello, and it's like, okay, life's going. I wish I had gotten that at 20. I wish I had gotten that at 17, not to waste my life, not to mute my life, you know? I wish I would have gotten sober at, you know, 12 or 15 when I was first exposed to a 12-step program. I mean, because I knew back then what those things were. I mean, I had been, you know? So anyway, but I am so thankful for the amazing life that I have today, and I just got to figure out, what's my next move going to be, you know? What do I want my life to look like next? Like, I'm completely content right now with all this. I love YouTube so much. I'm having such a blast doing videos on YouTube, you know? So we'll just have to see, I guess. What are you guys going to do? What's your next big move? You don't know? Are you sleeping in watching my video? That's what I'll probably be doing while you're watching my video. All right, I love you guys. Don't forget, we're on borrowed time.